Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on education. When one thinks of higher education, you can't help but think about the hefty price tag that comes with it. For example, the average cost of tuition and fees for the 2020 and the 2021 school year was $41,411 at private colleges and $11,171 for state residents at public colleges, and then about $26,800 for out-of-state students at a state school. My next guest, she serves as the executive director of a nonprofit that helps students from low-income backgrounds get accepted into and graduate from college. Miss Kellie Sigh is here to tell us about College Possible. How are you, Kellie?
I am well, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. And before we talk more about College Possible, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about your background and your feelings about being a part of educating our children.
I'd love to share with you. Coming off of actually 9 years having served as the Director of Partnerships for Milwaukee Public Schools. And prior to that, I have also served in a suburban public school district right under the Superintendent of Schools, and then even a private school as the Director of Admissions. So I have been in education now for well over 15 years. I won't say the exact amount of time, but well over 15 years. And then prior to that, I was actually in the private sector working in corporate. So, I have two adult children of my own, certainly have dealt with working with them to get into and through college. And I know, even as one who is college educated myself, so an undergraduate from Alverno, a master's degree from Concordia, and now working on a doctorate back at Alverno, I know how difficult it is to navigate that higher ed scene. And so we are just set up to be of assistance to the scholars that we have the privilege and the benefit of serving in 18 different high schools here in the city of Milwaukee.
That is pretty awesome. And College Possible is among the largest nonprofit college success and access organizations in the country. So that says quite a bit. So I'd like to hear more about College Possible Milwaukee and how you go about serving the students that live right here in the city.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, we work with partner high schools, 8 of which are Milwaukee public high schools. And we start with the scholars in their junior year of high school. So we recruit each year for juniors and we stay with them. So we have an AmeriCorps coach who works with juniors. And then we have a different one that works with high school seniors, and then another coach that works with college scholars all the way through until graduation. And really, College Possible has been around for 20 years, in Milwaukee, 12 years, and was designed to really address what you said at the beginning, Andrea, is the fact that we know there is a degree divide. And that specifically speaks to the fact that someone from a higher socioeconomic background is more than 2 times more likely to graduate from college than one from a lower income background. And that is what we refer to as the degree divide. And that's not okay. And so College Possible is in the space to care for that. So in junior year of high school, we're working with scholars on ACT prep. We give them strategies and tips and tools. We run them through a number of baseline tests before they take what we refer to as the real deal ACT. We also talk with them about ensuring that they have a good list of colleges that they're pursuing. And so we're looking for a mixture of private, public, HBCUs, because 97% of the scholars that we serve look like me, identify as people of color. 93% are first generation scholars. And so that's the work that College Possible does.
Yeah, and that's some pretty important work, to say the least. So, how does one go about becoming a College Possible scholar? What are the qualifications?
Great question. So first of all, attend one of those partner high schools. And then secondly, a minimum GPA of 2.0. And then what we say is that we definitely want scholars who have a college going mindset. We certainly want someone who has their eye on graduation from college, and we want to partner with them in that. And then we are looking for those that would qualify for the Pell Grant. So again, lower socioeconomic background as well.
Yeah, and I know that there are some parents who are watching right now. And when I was kind of just giving that average cost of
Hmm.
school, I mean, it's amazing that it's changed so much even from when I graduated from college. And I can't imagine how not only the parents, but there are also some students who take on loans, in their own names and they graduate with this huge amount of debt and they almost start behind the eight ball. So it's really important to have these types of organizations that say, you know what, we're here to not only help you get into college,
Hmm.
we're here to help you stay there and graduate. So what do you say to parents who really are starting to think about their child's education once they do graduate from high school?
I would say a couple of things I just want to repeat that you said, which are spot on, just brilliant, is that this whole idea of debt is a big deal. And one of the things that at College Possible we definitely want to care for is not only identifying what we refer to as the balanced top five list of institutions, but we also are seeking to ensure that our scholars graduate with the least amount of debt as possible. And then in terms of your question, what will we say to parents is certainly begin having the conversation. We really want parents and scholars to know that if there is a desire, there definitely is a way. And so there are organizations like College Possible that are really set up to be of assistance to the scholar and to their families to realize the dreams and the goals that they've set before them. We know that scholars that graduate with a college degree earn, $1.2 million more than one who does not have a college degree. And so what we're finding is that when a scholar is successfully able to graduate from college, that affects the whole family. Now the sibling, or maybe even the parents or a cousin is thinking, well, if Junior did it, or if, Miles did it, that's my son's name, then, then certainly, I can do it as well. And so we love the idea of this catching on within families. And that is what can affect, so it affects the family, but then it moves on to affect the larger community and then the city. And that's really what we're setting out to do as well.
Yeah, you put that very well. When we talk about collaboration, that's something, it goes along with that whole saying, it takes a village. So there are a number of organizations I'm sure that you collaborate with locally that help make a difference with your mission in helping students. But there are also a couple of other national organizations that you guys partner with to help make a difference as well.
We really believe in partnerships. So there certainly are people within the city of Milwaukee that are in the college access success space, if you will. So, Boys and Girls Clubs of Milwaukee are doing, great things. All in Milwaukee are doing great things. And so wherever we can find opportunities to collaborate in this space, we certainly believe in doing that. There's too much of a mindset of being siloed and that being competitive, but what we like to say within College Possible, the focus is really about the scholar. So whatever is best for the scholar, let's do that. So where we can collaborate and we can find partnerships and linkages, if you will, let's do that.
Yes, I agree with you on that. And what's really impressive is that you realize finding the right college that's a good fit for the
Mhm.
individual is not an easy task. So you really help kids along because it's almost like going into an ice cream store with 1,001 flavors saying which one do you like. So you really help kids break it all down. How do you go about doing that?
It starts really with the relationship. Everything does, right? So it's just having a conversation initially to find out what it is that is of interest to the scholar. So we're looking at what is it that you want to major in? Do you want to be in a larger city or a smaller city? Um, you know, We're looking at financial aid package as well. So what is it that we're seeing that institutions have already done for others that have gone before the scholars? And then, we're looking at the community, the culture within that educational setting as well. And we're doing our best to have a conversation and match that up with the scholar based upon what we're hearing and what we're seeing and what we know about, again, whether it's a public institution, whether it's a private institution, whether it's a historically Black college or university. We're really wanting to have the conversation so that we can do a good job of, making that match and finding the right fit, because we know that has such a huge impact in terms of their feeling of a sense of belonging. And that has so much to do with whether they will be successful in graduating from that college or university.
Yeah, great point. Because when you think about it, if you like the big city setting and you like, all the excitement and the lights, then you probably wouldn't choose. I went to school where there were cornfields for like 5 miles before you got to the campus. So it really does make a difference, all those small things. So it really is whatever
Yes.
the person's preference is. But the fact that you guys help them to kind of navigate through that says so much. I wanted to wrap up kind of talking about how you match students with advisors to help them through this process. And then you also have college grads and young professionals who join your team to help as a coach as well, right?
Absolutely, you've got it. You got it right. We work with AmeriCorps coaches, and so right about now, we're beginning to recruit our coaches for next year. They are all what we've referred to as near peer coaches, so recent college graduates that are wanting to. Many of whom I have to share with you, Andrea. Many of whom started out either as a College Possible student or scholar themselves, and then said that they were so impacted by the relationship they had with their coach, they wanted to come back and serve as a coach themselves. And I think that just speaks volumes about the program. So our near peer coaches, when we work with them, we're asking them, do you have a preference to really work with high school students or college students? And so based upon that and their other work experience and life experiences, we match them with either high school students or college students to, as I said, walk alongside that scholar and ensure that they're completing the program.
Oh, so important. Thank you so much, Kelly, for coming by and giving us all this great information. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Kellie Sigh is the executive director of College Possible Milwaukee. And for more information, you can visit their website at collegepossible.org or call 414-220-9450. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching. And I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.